Hey everyone, welcome back to the TheEMTSpot's Blood Pressure Podcast. I'm Samuel Harrison,
And I'm Olivia Harper.
and we are ready for another deep dive.
Definitely.
Today we're tackling a question that's pretty crucial if you're keeping an eye on your blood pressure.
Right?
Can those at-home blood pressure monitors, can they actually give you false readings?
It's a great question. And, it isn't a simple yes or no.
Yeah, I mean, no medical device is perfect, right? Like even at the doctor's office, there's some wiggle room.
Absolutely. There's always a margin of error.
Okay, so when we're talking at-home monitors, what are the big things that can really mess up the readings?
Well, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
Like actually using the monitor the right way. I mean, I know I've definitely gotten cuff placement wrong before.
Oh, yeah.
It seems easy enough.
Totally.
But, if that cuff isn't sitting right on your arm,
Mm-hmm.
you're pretty much guaranteed to get a wonky reading.
So it's all about the setup.
Exactly. And it's not just where the cuff is, it's also the size of it.
Oh, so like if it's too small or too big.
Yeah. If you're using a cuff that's too small for your arm, it'll give you a reading that's way too high.
Okay.
And then if it's too loose, you're going to get a reading that's way too low.
Gotcha.
So finding that Goldilocks cuff,
The one that's just right.
the one that's just right, is super important.
All right, so we've got the cuff figured out. What about just moving around while the monitor's doing its thing?
Oh, that's a big one.
Can that mess things up?
Absolutely. Even little movements can make those readings jump all over the place.
It's like trying to weigh yourself on one of those old school scales. You have to stand perfectly still.
Exactly. Stillness is key if you want a good reading.
So speaking of getting a good reading, it's not just us, it's the monitor itself, right?
Oh, for sure.
So let's talk about making sure our device is, up to the task.
Yeah, like any gadget, those monitors can wear down over time, and if they're not maintained well, their accuracy takes a hit.
So we're talking cleaning and battery changes and all that.
Yeah, all of that, but there's also something called calibration.
Calibration. I've heard that word before, but what does that actually mean for a blood pressure monitor?
Well, think of it like this. Calibration is like a checkup for your monitor.
Okay.
It's making sure that the readings you're getting are actually accurate and aligned with, a standard.
Ah, I see.
You wouldn't want to bake a cake in an oven that runs too hot.
Disaster.
Could be a disaster. So calibration is basically making sure that your monitor is baking those accurate readings.
Okay, so the monitor's like our oven. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got the monitor itself sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any external things that can kind of mess with the readings? Are there any surprising culprits out there?
Definitely. You know how they tell you to keep electronics away from medical devices in the hospital?
Yeah, I always wondered about that.
Well, things like your cell phone or your tablet can actually interfere with your monitor signals. Yeah, so it's best to keep them at a safe distance while you're taking your reading, just to be on the safe side.
So should I just put my phone on airplane mode or something when I'm taking my blood pressure?
It couldn't hurt.
All right, good to know.
You know what's another thing that might surprise you? Even how you're sitting or standing can change your reading.
Really?
Lying down usually gives you a lower reading compared to sitting or standing.
Interesting.
The key is to just be consistent.
Ah,
Find a position you can comfortably hold each time.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay, are you ready for another one?
Hit me.
Even the environment can play a role. Temperature and humidity, those can mess with the sensors inside the monitor.
So taking my blood pressure in a sauna is probably not the best idea.
Probably not the best for accurate readings.
Got it. No extreme temperatures.
Right, whether it's too hot or too cold.
All right. Well, I'm definitely starting to realize that there's a lot more to getting an accurate blood pressure reading than I thought.
There's a lot to think about, right?
It's more than just slapping on the cuff.
It really is. We've talked about user errors,
Uh-huh.
making sure your cuff fits, keeping electronics away, how you're sitting,
And even the weather.
and even the weather. So what can we actually do to make sure we're getting the most accurate readings possible?
Yeah. Give us the tips.
Well, first things first, you want to choose a monitor that's been validated by a reputable organization.
Okay. So a seal of approval.
Exactly. It means that this device has been through rigorous testing and meets certain standards for accuracy.
So doing some research before you buy is important.
It's super important.
All right. Got it.
Organizations like the British Hypertension Society or the Association for the Advancement of Medical Instrumentation, they've done all the homework for you.
Nice.
They've tested and validated tons of different monitors so you can feel good about the one you pick.
So once I've done my research and I've got my trusty validated monitor, what's next?
This might sound obvious, but you got to read those instructions.
Oh, come on. Nobody reads the instructions.
You'd be surprised how many people skip that crucial step.
I guess it makes sense. It's like trying to put together furniture without looking at the instructions.
Yep. Exactly. It's asking for trouble.
All right. Cuff size is double-checked. I've read the instructions. What else am I forgetting?
Remember those things we talked about earlier, like exercise, caffeine, smoking, all that?
Yeah.
Those can actually raise your blood pressure temporarily, so you want to avoid them for at least 30 minutes before you take your reading.
Really?
It's like trying to take a clear picture when you're on a roller coaster. You're not going to get the best results.
No shaky readings.
Exactly. So
Okay.
create a nice, calm environment, like, pre-coffee state of mind.
All right, I'll try to channel my inner Zen master before I take my blood pressure.
Perfect. And while you're at it, think about how you're storing your monitor.
Okay.
Those devices are sensitive, so treat them with respect.
No more tossing in the drawer with all the junk.
Definitely not. And keep up with those regular cleanings we talked about. A little TLC goes a long way.
Right, I'm feeling like a blood pressure monitor pro over here. Is there anything else I can do to make sure I'm getting those super accurate readings?
There's one final step that a lot of people miss. Regular accuracy checks.
Ooh. How do I do that? Like, give my monitor a pop quiz.
Well, one way is to just compare your home readings to the ones your doctor gets.
Okay.
If there's a consistent difference,
Ah,
it might mean your monitor needs to be recalibrated or maybe even replaced.
goes like a double check system.
Exactly. Now, if you want to get really technical, there's something called the oscillometric method. It can help verify the accuracy of your monitor.
Ooh, that sounds intense. Maybe we can save the oscillometric method for another deep dive.
We can definitely do that. But the main takeaway is that there are ways to check your monitor's accuracy and make sure it's giving you good information.
This has been super helpful. I feel way more confident about using my at-home blood pressure monitor now.
I'm glad. Remember, knowledge is power.
For sure.
The more you know about at-home monitoring, the better you'll be able to manage your health.
Absolutely. All right, well, before we move on to some specific high-quality monitors that people can check out,
Okay.
let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back with more blood pressure insights.
See you in a minute. Okay, so we're back.
We are back.
And before the break, we were talking about all those things that can affect how accurate our at-home readings are.
Yeah, from the environment to choosing the right monitor.
It is a lot to remember.
It is a lot.
But, once you know what to look for, it gets easier.
Absolutely.
So now let's talk about some actual monitors that people can consider.
Yes. Let's get into some real-world examples.
Okay, so one that always gets great reviews is the Oxaline Pressure X Pro.
Okay, the Oxaline Pressure X Pro, I've heard of that one.
It's known for being really accurate and also pretty techy.
Ooh, techie, tell me more.
Well, it actually uses Bluetooth
Fancy.
to connect to a smartphone app, which makes tracking your readings and analyzing them so much easier.
Oh yeah, no more writing things down on scraps of paper. So I'm all about convenience, especially when it comes to my health.
Of course.
So what else does this Aptastic monitor do?
Well, it can store up to 21 readings,
Okay.
which is pretty impressive, and it also has multi-user support.
What does that mean?
So if you have multiple people in your house who need to track their blood pressure, they can all use the same monitor and have their own profiles on the app.
Oh, that's really cool, like a family blood pressure command center.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, so what other blood pressure superstars are out there?
Well, if you're looking for something small and easy to take with you, the Check Me BP2 might be a good choice.
Check Me BP2, okay.
It is so small and light, you can take it anywhere.
Okay, that's perfect for people who travel a lot or are on the go.
Exactly. But you're probably thinking that something so small must be missing features, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Not at all. The Check Me BP2 is super easy to use. It has one-touch operation and a big, easy-to-read display.
Okay.
And it can store up to 50 readings. So you can keep track of your numbers even when you're not at home.
That is impressive for something so small.
Right.
Okay, so we've got the techie one, the portable one. What else is there?
Well, if you're looking for something stylish, there's the Cardio Arm.
Cardio arm, all right. Tell me more.
It's sleek, it's modern, it's accurate.
So a blood pressure monitor with good looks, I like it.
It also connects to a smartphone app, so you can easily track your readings, and it's FDA approved.
Oh, wow. So it's got the looks and the brains.
It does. And it's even won awards from the American Heart Association.
Okay, so it's reliable.
You can definitely trust it.
Awesome. So that's just 3 examples.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of great monitors out there.
definitely.
So it's really about finding the one that fits your needs and your lifestyle.
Exactly. And remember all those things we talked about earlier?
Uh-huh.
Even the fanciest monitor won't give you accurate readings if you're not using it correctly.
Right. Cuff size, placement, all that stuff still
Because it all
matters.
matters.
So it's about finding the right tool and knowing how to use it.
Exactly. And with so many options available,
Mm-hmm.
there's a perfect monitor out there for everyone.
This has been so helpful. I feel like I've learned so much today.
Me too. I love talking about blood pressure monitors. They're so important for managing your health.
They really are.
So where do we go from here?
Yeah, good question.
What are the key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, first of all, knowledge is power, right?
Hmm.
The more you know about at-home blood pressure monitoring, the better you can manage your health.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to ask questions, do your research, advocate for your health, and of course, talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
They're a great resource.
For sure.
So we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
How these monitors work, the things that can go wrong, some top monitors.
Mm.
What's the one thing you want our listeners to remember from this deep dive?
You know, I think the most important thing is to feel empowered.
Take the time to learn about this stuff. Choose a monitor that works for you and use it the right way.
Absolutely.
By being proactive and informed, you can really understand your heart health better and take steps to keep it healthy.
That's a great message. It's a reminder that we can all take charge of our health.
Exactly. It's all about making smart choices and, those little steps can make a big difference in the long run.
I love that. Well said. Okay, I think we've covered it all for today's deep dive.
We have. It's been great talking about blood pressure monitors with you.
And with our listeners. And speaking of our listeners, stay tuned for more insightful episodes from the TheEMTSpot's Blood Pressure Podcast.
We'll be back with more tips and information.
I'm Samuel Harrison.
And I'm Olivia Harper.
We'll catch you on the next episode. So we've really gone deep on at-home blood pressure monitoring.
We have, from how the monitors work to things that can trip us up, and of course those top-notch monitors.
And it all comes back to one thing.
What's that?
Getting those readings right. They're crucial for managing our health, right?
Absolutely. Those numbers are like vital signs. They give us a peek into how our heart is doing.
And knowing what can make those readings go haywire.
Right.
Means we can make better decisions about our lifestyle, our medications.
Our overall well-being.
It's like a roadmap to a healthier heart.
I like that, a roadmap.
So as we wrap up, what are the big things you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, first things first, picking a validated monitor is key. That's like having a trusted guide on this health journey.
Makes sense. And once we've got that trusty guide,
then it's all about using it right. Remember, cuff size, placement, all those external factors.
Right.
Those all play a part in getting an accurate reading.
It's like being mindful and consistent.
Exactly. Making it a routine, following the instructions.
And treating your monitor like the sensitive instrument it is.
Oh, yeah. It deserves some TLC.
So it's kind of like building a healthy habit, like brushing your teeth or getting enough sleep.
Exactly. And those habits, along with those regular checkups with your doctor,
Can't forget those.
they're the foundation of a healthy lifestyle.
So well said. All right, listeners, embrace that knowledge, choose your blood pressure monitor carefully, and, get started on that journey towards a healthier heart.
And remember, we're here with you on that journey.
Always.
Keep those questions coming, share what you're experiencing, and let's navigate this blood pressure world together.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for this deep dive.
It does. Thanks for joining us on the TheEMTSpot's Blood Pressure Podcast.
Always a pleasure.
I'm Samuel Harrison.
And I'm Olivia Harper.
We'll catch you on the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this with anyone who you think might find it helpful.
Spread the knowledge.
Until next time, stay healthy.